This is Laura Flanders and Friends, with a rewind from the archives. The following commentary by Laura Flanders was released December 4th, 2018.
The federal housing official responsible for the New York City region says she plans to move into public housing at the end of the year to spotlight inhumane conditions. But if she really wants to spotlight inhumanity in housing, she'd move big money out and people in to city housing stock. Longtime Trump aide Lynne Patton told the press recently that she intends to move out of Trump Plaza where she lives and into public housing to cast a spotlight on the inhumane conditions in which some city residents live. Her target is NYCHA, the New York City Housing Authority, one of the nation's biggest and in many ways the program's national flagship. It's no surprise it comes in for lots of grief. Some of it is well-deserved. Federal investigators have found mold and rodents and lead in New York City public housing. Over 25,000 residents spent a very frigid Thanksgiving weekend without heat or hot water, some going for water from a hydrant in the street. But Patton moving in for a month on her $161,000 salary won't shed a spotlight on inhumanity as much as on herself and on the Trump agenda, which, like most Republicans, is about promoting the private at the expense of the public, which is ironic given that Trump's money, which is to say his father's money, came to him from a public housing grant. Nonetheless, vilifying public agencies is part of the pro-privatization agenda. So is underfunding them. Donald Trump's first budget proposed zeroing out money for capital improvements and cutting money for public housing operations by nearly 40%. It's no surprise, then, that Trump's HUD would be grandstanding about local public mismanagement. But progressives are calling for more, not less, local control and decision-making to address some of NYCHA's woes. They're not for selling their properties off to owners who are even less accountable and even more remote. So I have a better idea. If we really want to spotlight inhumanity in housing, how about we let Patton move out and let some poor residents move in, not only to Trump Plaza to see how HUD officials live, but into the 75,000 apartments that are sitting empty in New York, according to a recent city census. Many of them are just real estate investments for the rich and super rich. There are 2 available directly across from me in downtown Manhattan. They've been sitting there dark for all but a night or 2 for the whole of the last year, empty and costly around the clock. So you want to spotlight inhumanity in housing? How about housing like that, that's just for money, not for people? Let's spotlight that and then consider something like a pied-à-terre tax so that wealthy people, or just investors, would have a reason to share or get out.
That was Laura's commentary recorded in 2018, commenting on the Trump Administration and HUD. And this week on Laura Flanders and Friends, be sure to check out Laura's guests are federal workers who have been standing up, not giving in, housing and urban development civil rights attorneys and members of the Federalist Unionist Network, Palmer, Heenan.
Housing isn't political, or at least it shouldn't be. But because of the decisions that are being made now, it's become a political issue. And the downstream consequences of that are going to be catastrophic.
And Paul Osadebe.
It's essentially civil rights enforcement at HUD and throughout the federal government is being dismantled. Yes, we're facing risks. Yes, it was a hard decision to go public like this, but it was really the only choice.
They're 2 of the whistleblowers who risked their careers to expose alarming civil rights rollbacks at HUD.